Commanding Officer. I'm currently the President of the 418 City of Edmonton Squadron Association, and I'd like to welcome you all tonight to tonight's gathering on the occasion of the 60th anniversary of the adoption of 418 Squadron by the City of Edmonton. It was 60 years ago today, on the 18th of March, 1944, that the Mayor of Edmonton, at the time John Fry, and City Council formally signed the documents that gave 418 Squadron an identity with the City of Edmonton. They would carry that identity with them not only throughout the remainder of World War II, but throughout their operational existence, which extended over 53 years. The squadron was disbanded in August of 1994 at what we used to refer to as the Mayo Air Force Base, or Canadian Forces Base in Mayo. It is now Garrison, Steel Heights, still located in the same area north of Edmonton. I just want to mention to you that we do have washroom facilities. Follow the blue carpet through the hallway, ladies and men as well. And if you've not yet done so on your arrival, we have a guest book. We would ask each of you to sign it. When we finished our little formal part of the program, you can sign it in your own time, but please do so before you leave. Before we commence our brief program to recognize tonight's occasion, I would ask that you all stand, and we're going to pay tribute to three of our members who have recently passed on. In the last month, we have lost Wing Commander Dave Jacobs, Wing Commander and our Padre for over 20 years, the Reverend Billy Graham, and Wing Commander Dr. Bob Bryce. The The idea for adopting the squadron and the preparation work required was largely the result of efforts by two men, Flight Lieutenant Gordon Williamson, a reporter for the Edmonton Journal prior to World War II, and who was serving in 418 Squadron as a public affairs officer at the time, and the city councilman who made the motion to adopt 418 Squadron, Alderman Athelstan Bissett. Tonight we have with us some special guests whom I would like to introduce. In attendance we have 3 generations of the Bissett family, all named one person. Representing Mr. Bissett's daughter Lorna, who's unable to be with us tonight, is her husband Blair. Thank you. The next generation, Cheryl McPherson, if you just stand briefly. John McPherson. John McPherson. And we also have 2 great-granddaughters, Jillian and Maggie McPherson, who have generously agreed to play a part in tonight's ceremonies. By the time Edmonton adopted 418 Squadron in 1944, they were well on their way to becoming one of the best Allied squadrons of the war. They flew the versatile and famous de Havilland Mosquito aircraft in night intruder operations, which included ground attack, interdiction, air-to-air combat, and photo wrecking. There were over 7,000 of the de Havilland Mosquito aircraft built. 1,003 of them were built in Canada. Several of the aircrew gained fame in the annals of air warfare, and none were more famous than Johnny Kane. His hometown was Edmonton. He shot down 22 enemy aircraft, had 5 probables, and several more damaged. He won 3 DFCs for his exploits. Tonight we have Johnny Kane's sister, Harriet Kane Uni, with us, and you will see her a little later in the program. Just raise your hand, please, Harriet. The adoption of 418 Squadron was due to the work of an odd couple, Flight Lieutenant Gordon Williamson on the war front and Alderman Athelstan Bissett on the home front. 2 members of the post-war era of 418 have close personal memories of these men who made history. I would like to at this time introduce Mr. Tony Cashman, who worked with Gordie Williamson in radio after the war. Tony.
Thanks, Jim. You know, when Edmonton had 2 commercial radio stations, Gordie Williamson was the Rod Phillips of his day. He was always wildly excited. And that was the time when Bush pilots were making this airport the gateway to the north. Now, Gordie called everything, hockey, football, and women's basketball. Now, that was the golden age of the commercial brands. And Gordie's young sister, Jean, was a member of the brands. Gordie was always over the moon with excitement, but when Jean Williamson came on the court, Gordie almost jumped out of the broadcast. When the war came, Gordie went off to England with the RCAF and as a public relations officer. After Hitler had been disposed of, he came back to CFRN as news and sport director. That's when I got to know Gordie. He was my boss in my first job in radio. And there was more sport than news in those days. Frankly, there wasn't much news at all. The lead story on the 8 o'clock morning broadcast was whether the trains were on time. And as far as the traffic goes, the Lauderdale Bridge was closed for a year and a half for redecking. Nobody even noticed. So before television, people in radio were larger than life. They were just voices floating in the air. People created images of what they thought who these people were. People used to ask me, what kind of a guy is Gordie Williamson? And there's a story that tells it all. It was at Christmas. was concerned because an announcer from another radio station wasn't going to be home for Christmas. He was in jail. And it could have happened to anybody. It could have happened to any of us at that time. The soul had been ripped off by a used car dealer. And he was driving home one evening after an evening of beer with his Navy buddies, and he was going past the dealership. And he decided that he would get out and even the accounts. So he kicked in the door of the shop, and as he was coming out with a jack and a few other things, a police squad car happened to be going by, and he was sent out to Fort Saskatchewan for 6 months. Well, Christmas was coming, and Gordy was really concerned about this. He decided he'd have to do something about it. Now, he was a pal of the Attorney General. The Attorney General, Mr. Maynard, had a string of racehorses, and that was the connection. So Gordy went to Lucian Maynard and told him it was all wrong. This fine young lad who had been wounded in the Navy in the service of his country should be spending the 12 days of Christmas in Fort Saskatchewan when the car dealer had a far greater claim to the being there. So the AG agreed, and on Christmas Eve, Gordy drove out to the fort and told Jack that he had been paroled and that Gordy was going to drive him home for Christmas. That's the kind of guy Gordy Williams was. Now, Gordy wasn't perfect. Nobody is perfect, with the exception of the members of this assembly. But there was a joke about Gordy's office. CFRN was in the CER building, and the joke was that Gordy's office was across the street in the beer parlor at the Yale Hotel. And there's a great deal of truth to that. This was the guy who went to England with the Air Force and was posted to a night intruder squadron flying mosquitoes, the 418 squadron. Now, his assignment was public relations, but he carried that to another level. He was concerned about the quality of life on these temporary wartime bases. The quality of life was somewhat below what would be considered the poverty line today, especially for the ground crew and especially in winter. Gordy decided he would have to do something about that. He knew that cities had adopted many military formations. They'd adopted tank regiments and squadrons. The city of Vancouver had adopted 405 squadron, and the citizens of Vancouver made sure that the chaps had all the good things in life, cigarettes and chocolate bars, and handed in wool socks and soap soluble in water. That was very difficult difficult to find in England at that time. So Gordy discovered, counting heads in the squadron, that 418 had 15 chaps from Edmonton and northern Alberta. We decided that 418 should become the city of Edmonton squadron. Should become the city of Edmonton squadron. So he needed an ally on the home front, and preferably someone on the city council. So he went to his old Sunday school teacher. Now, whenever Gordy told about his Sunday school teacher, there were always guffaws. Attending church wasn't one of Gordy's passions, but he had a long bond with Athelstan Bissett, who had a very respected lawyer in Old Strathcona, and he knew that Mr. Bissett would carry this to the council because of his interest in young people, also because of his son, squadron leader Claire Bissett. When Dave Jaycox was learning to fly on this flying club on this field, Claire Bissett was also learning, and in 1936 he worked his way to England and was accepted by the Royal Air Force. He was posted to a bomber squadron, and on the second Gordy knew when Esselstyn Bissett got the call to go to that 418 that he would be there. No, I got to know Mr. Bissett before covering city council, but we have somebody here who knew him much better. It's Doug Matheson. After Doug did a stint as a Spitfire pilot and a much longer stint as a prisoner of war. And when he came back, he went into embarked on a law career, and his legal trail took him eventually to the Supreme Court of Alberta, and at the beginning it passed through the law office of Esselstyn Bissett. Douglas, old boy, Douglas, will you take the controls? You got the controls.
I have the controls, Anthony. We're speaking of. Yeah, the Honorable Judge Aviation. Now, there was a man. I knew him well, and I loved him from the first day I ever met him. I had articles in a law firm over in the city, as we used to call it, and I got relatively poor articles. I spent most of my time not as an article student, but as a landman for Calgary Power. I got to know a lot of farmers, found that I liked that sort of person. So when I was finished my article, I started looking for a job. And I sort of cased the joint generally and felt that South Edmonton was sort of, it had a nice flavor to it. It had a rural flavor because in those days, really, South Edmonton was, it was part rural and not really part of the city. Well, I also knew that there were only two lawyers on the south side, Esselstyn Bissett and Jack Chapman, who had just opened his practice about a couple of months before. Well, Mr. Bissett was known to me by name. I'd never met him. The firm was Young and Bissett, circa 1911 or so. And Mr. Young was like one of the Smith brothers, a great long beard. I've seen pictures of him. But he's long gone by the end of the war. Anyways, being unemployed and broke, married, 2 kids, I needed a job. So I decided that I was going to try the south side because the competition was going to be much less. So on the corner of Old 4th Street and White Avenue was the old Royal Bank. I think a lot of you know that. And so the building is, even now, is about twice as big as it was then. But the back stairs were just about vertical, about like this. And I remember climbing those stairs, going along the creaky old hall, past old Dr. Carmichael's office. Some of you will Edmontonian. From the end of the hall was Dr. Keeler's office and Dr. Cato's. And on my right was Young and Bissett, barristers and solicitors, notary public. That door to this day is in my cottage lane. Anyways, I entered the office, and Charles Dickens would have been just delighted. It was absolutely out of Bleak House. The long electric cord from the ceiling, little green shade, and his secretary, now lovely old Jewish lady, was pounding away on a typewriter of the same vintage as Anthony Cashman uses to this day. And anyways, I told her my business, and she opened the office to the inner sanctum. And I looked in there. The first thing I noticed were 2 clients' chairs. And those 2 clients' chairs had been brought by the Bissett family from North Dakota back in the year 18-something or other. And I still have one of them, and my old partner down in Ingham has the other. Anyways, sitting in the office, in the chair that I sit in, in fact, I'm sitting in all day today, was this fine-looking
beautiful man. We chatted for an hour, and I told him that I needed a job, I was broke, and had responsibilities. And he told me that the South Side was no place to go practicing law. Business wasn't that great. But he said, you can come over and you can try, and I'll pay the overhead and you can keep what you make. So we shook hands on that deal, and I came in the next day, and we started out for about 2 months. We proceeded on that basis. But then one day, Mr. Bissett said to me, I've just been appointed the first judge of the family court for Alberta, and I'm going to be having to leave the office. So I sort of felt somewhat adrift because, as I say, I hadn't had good articles, and I didn't know a hell of a lot about anything. And Mr. Bissett used to have to help me through every file I was on. However, I was cast adrift, and he had to go down to his new job. But every afternoon he used to come back and sort of prop me up and help me finish files. And indeed, I had to finish a lot of files that he had been working on. He never took a penny out of any of those files. He always made sure that I had all the money. And finally, after about another month or so, he finally said, well, you're going to do it. And I sort of said, what? And he said, yeah, you can take over. And I said, well, I don't have any money, sir. I can't pay you. And he said, you're going to pay me. You're going to pay me by looking after my people. That's the kind of man that was this one. He was one of those lawyers that I don't think they made too many of them. He was the kind of man who had care for his clients. In fact, he had a care for everybody. I remember that when I came into that office, it was the outer office was absolutely stacked with, and if any of your lawyers here, loose parts of the Western Weekly Law Reports, the Dominion Law Reports, usually you get about 6 or 8 and then you get them bound. Mr. Bissett had never bound one from 1913, and they were all piled. And incidentally, Mr. Bissett had started an article on that from 1913, and then he was interrupted by the First World War, and he went overseas out of the war. And in those days, there was no law school in Alberta, so you had to article for 4 years before you could break the bar exams. So Mr. Bissett then came home from the war and had to complete his articles, and I don't think he was admitted to the bar until 1921, the date of my birth. And the office, I'm sure it was never dusted from that day forward. And it was absolutely marvelous. I've never seen literally 4 inches of dust. And I think he knew that I was somewhat appalled by it all, because we came in one weekend with several vacuum cleaners and whatnot to try and clean the thing off. And he had a skylight way up at the top of the office, and it was intimidating. You know, it was literally about 12 or 14 feet up there. And we put a table on top of the table, and then a chair on top of that, and I was getting ready to climb up it. And Mr. Bissett just pushed me aside, and he just went up like a mountain goat, and we were up cleaning the skylight. Anyways, in all the time I was with him, Mr. Bissett never mentioned, and I never did know, that he had a son who was, as Tony said, first Canadian, I think, that had the DFC bar and the Czech military medal. He flew, as Tony said, he flew on the second night of the war, and he flew about Whitley over Germany. Now, he should have got a Victoria Cross for flying in Whitley at all. And as you old guys know, Whitley didn't fly like an airplane. It flew like this. Astonishing looking thing. And I'm sure that the reason they didn't lose too many of them is the Germans just couldn't believe that anything was so slow. Anyways, Mr. Bissett had never mentioned to me that he had this distinguished son, and never did he even mention the fact that
At this time, I'd like to present to you Mr. Monty Stout, another post-war member of the squadron. Monty's father was a journalist, John Stout, played on the same hockey team with Mr. Bissett in 1903 in the country west of Leduc. That must have been way out in the rural area then. He'd like to present a picture of the team to the McPherson family.
Returned to Edmonton in 1946. I left in 1928 when my father left Bulletin and went down to the Calgary Herald. And of course there was no university in Calgary then. And so I returned to Edmonton complete with a wife and daughter a few months old. And I found that Edmonton had very busy time during the war. So it doubled in size. The university was accommodating all the veterans who were returning. And the accommodation was pretty tough. So I managed to find a house over on the south side. It was owned by Reverend, I don't remember his name, but he was appointed principal of St. Stephen's College at that time and given a lovely home on 112th Street. So his house was up for sale and I bought it. And of course, being an old South Sider, I was used to taking the Tudorville trolley from Royal Bank Corner. So I knew that the stairs was a lawyer's office. And as Dougie recounted, it was like climbing a ladder to get up there. And my notes were that it was like entering a scene from a Charles Dickens novel. So we both had the same opinion. And when I spoke to Mr. Bissett, it was the first time I'd ever known him. He inquired about my time in the military, and I said I'd been in the Air Force. Where were you? I said, well, that's the RAF, Ferry Command. And so he said, well, he lost a son who was in the RAF. And but like Dougie, I found him the most charming man. I don't think I ever met him again, but the feeling really persisted. And when all was said and done and the bill came, it was for $10 for doing all the paperwork and transferring the house. Now I mentioned this to my father in Calgary. He said, oh, Arthur Bissett. I said, you know him? Oh, sure. He said, he was bought two big oil lamps, and they became competition. It was rather unusual. South Edmonton, which Dougie also mentioned, had changed its name to Strathcona in order to get money from Lord Strathcona. He came and visited and went back and didn't leave a penny. But he sent $50 to the Contrin Creek hockey team. So I have a picture of the team, which I don't know where it came from. My connection with Mr. Bishop was completely different from my father's. And after hearing about this, and I'll have had it reproduced, and I'll give it to the family after. Actually, I got 4 copies now. And now my experience, whereas never on a personal basis with Paul and visit, I worked for the city from 48 to 56, and I was doing construction work very badly needed. Gravel roads, concrete curbs, sidewalks, power lines, underground and winter. People didn't realize at the time, a lot of builders, the city didn't automatically go out and build streets in those days. The people had to take a petition up showing more than a certain percentage of the landowners on the street were willing to pay taxes for improvements. And I passed the street one time up in Bonnie Doon, and a builder built a full line of houses on both sides. The street was a slump like that. Boy, that's going to be terrible. And it was parked there for some reason or other, and the homeowner came up and said, "Are you going to build our street?" And I said, "No, your street isn't on any list at all. You'll have to get a petition and take it around and get all the people to agree that they'll pay the taxes if we build it." But I said, "You won't get it this year. This year's list is all passed and approved. There's no way anybody can do it." I said, "You're going to have a terrible winter," because I just passed the previous winter under a certain similar situation. And he was really irate, so I said, "Well, get your petition and go see Alderman Bissett." I said, "He's the only one in the whole city that I know that would react and do it." And sure enough, before fall, I was able to build that street. And in the fall, there was a city election. I noticed in the paper that there was a polling booth on that street, one of the houses in the middle. And I carefully watched the results the day after the election. Alderman Bissett didn't get a single vote from that poll. I think that's the story of politics, and I don't think he ever got much credit for what he did, but because of my interest in him and the way I felt about him, I kept my eye out and watched his work, and he was a marvelous alderman. And he was followed in council, of course, by Doug's brother Bob, and he was a good councilman too. They're few and far between. So I'd like to present these pictures to the first family.
Could I ask the person family to step forward, please, and Tony will present, or Monty rather, will present these pictures of the hockey team, 1903. Did they have skates in those days? Golly.
They have frozen water.
Before the days of frozen water.
They didn't have artificial ice. They had frozen pucks. They didn't have to put them in the deep freeze. Notice the goalkeeper had pretty pads, no problem with the big balloony pads.
Lord Stanley's not in that picture, is he? No. When the letter that proposed the adoption was received in Edmonton, it was quickly embraced as a good idea. After all, many of Canada's warships have been given names of cities from across Canada, and many RCAF and some RAF squadrons had also been adopted. I guess Gordie Williamson didn't know how his letter of proposal would be received by City Council to adopt an RCF fighter squadron. But in case there was any hesitation, he mentioned very clearly in the letter that Calgary had recently adopted 403 Wolf Squadron of the RCAF. I think that clinched it. Because of the coincidental fact that over 95% of 418 personnel were Canadian, in those days the RAF manned a lot of RCAF squadrons. There were always some RCF or Commonwealth personnel, but in this particular squadron, 95% were Canadian. And a large number of these came from the Edmonton and Northern Alberta areas. Automatically that made 418 the squadron of choice for the adopted squadron. I would now like to ask Miss Gillian and her cousin Maggie McPherson to come forward. Gillian will read the motion made by her great-grandfather to City Council on the 26th of February, 1944, which started the adoption process. I will then ask Maggie to unveil a photo portrait of her great-grandfather and to read the caption. Would you please step forward, ladies? Straightforward to the point. Thank you very much. Just before you go, we're going to, can you come back for just a minute, Johnny? I want to give this to you as a souvenir this evening. And Maggie's going to unveil, what is it? A picture? It's a flag. And a picture. And if you read the inscription, please.
It reads, Athelston visit, 14 years as City Councillor. On February 26, 1944, he introduced a motion that the City of Edmonton adopt 418 Squadron of the Royal Canadian Air Force.
Thank you very much. There's a picture of the inscription underneath it, and there's a souvenir for you tonight. Thank you, ladies.